Who told you your story's over? Part 4. Are you ready for more? Are you thirsty? I am. Boy, I tell you, God is good. You know why your story is so important? Because somebody is dependent on you. Somebody is watching you. And in God's grand plan and design, there is somebody that needs you. So my grandma's story, why was it so important? Why did she have to linger? Why? Because of me. You say, what do you mean? I've been running from God for 5 years. You know, I told God when he called me to be a preacher and a pastor, I said, God, you got the wrong number. You called the wrong person. I don't want to be a preacher. I don't want to be a pastor. I don't want to be any of that. But yet in my heart, I knew I was called. Because sometimes he calls the unexpected people to do unexpected things, like being on this YouTube channel, telling stories about Jesus. So my grandma literally prayed me back to my calling. So in other words, I ran from God, but that woman had a Bible and a rocking chair, and she knew how to pray. I remember the day she tried to drag me to the altar to get me saved. I got to tell you, that's a funny story. Listen to this. So I'm in a camp meeting with about 1,000 people, and I'm running from God. Why do you go to a camp meeting when you're running from God? But anyways, my grandma was up ahead of me in a row up on the left, and it was during the altar call. She looked back at me, and I thought, oh no. And here she come. She's a little hard of hearing, and she's saying something as she's coming toward me. Don't you want to get saved? Don't you want to get saved? And I'm like, oh my goodness. And she came up, and she grabbed me by the neck, and she dragged me to the altar and made me kneel, and got all my cousins praying about me and praying for me. But no, I didn't get saved that day. I didn't come back to God that day. That was later, where I knelt at an altar and made a deal with God and finally came back to him. You know, grandmas are important. If you have one bugging you, listen to her. If you have one praying for you, give up. You're not going to make it. You can't run fast enough to get away from a grandmother's prayer. And maybe you're a grandmother and you're out there and you're praying for your loved one. Keep praying. Send them this video. They should really love that, right? And so it's not the end of your story, because God gets the glory in our story. And in the end, someday, we'll see him face to face. You know what? I got to add one more part to this. So to be continued.